All right, so welcome to another episode. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at what to do when you have kind of consistent losses and with every single strategy that you try. So this is something that I typically go ahead and discuss and chat about in my one-on-one coaching sessions. So definitely check that out on our website at tradersfly.com. You can go to the single coaching sessions and book a one-on-one video session if you like. But also, if you just have some quick Q&As, you can also do so on our Discord channel, just kind of like a chat room. I also post some charts there periodically. So let's chat a little bit about just consistent losses. So if you're constantly getting consistent losses time and time again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some of the concepts here behind what you really want to do. But here's kind of a scratch pad, because what I see a lot of times happening is that people go ahead and they try and sell vertical puts. So you're trying to sell puts, and then they try it for a little while, and then they go to another strategy because that just did not work. So that was like bad. So they go in and they say, okay, well, yeah, now I could go ahead and do iron condors because now, well, if the stock goes down, I can make money. Stock goes up, I can make money. So they go ahead and they try something like this. But again, that one has some trouble. They run into some issues. So then they go ahead and say, well, I didn't do that so well. So why don't I go in and do some penny stocks? Or maybe they go in, they start going into straddles. They try and do other stuff. They go in and do, sell wide things. And they might even do some stuff. Then they go to zero DTE strategies with SPX. So it's constant hop around, and then eventually you run out of strategies and you go back, like none of this stuff works. And you go back to iron condors or you try selling puts. So this is kind of what I see a lot of times when I'm dealing with the coaching sessions and working with people. But the reality is what we're trying to do is create baskets of different things that are making us money. It's similar to like a grocery store where they sell apples, right? Sometimes apples sell really well. Other times they don't. Sometimes watermelon sells really well. And other times, let's say chicken sells well, or turkey, right? If you know the Thanksgiving season, sometimes turkey just sells really well. So what happens is you definitely want to focus on the strategies at different points in time that make sense for you. And each one is going to make you a certain amount of money. Now, some strategies might make you, let's say, 3% a month. That one might make you 1% a month. That one might make you 5% a month. That one might make you 20% because it's a high risk trade, but you also have a larger drawdown. So you have different strategies here. But what I see is that nobody evolves, at least not the people I'm talking to, because we're working coaching and we're trying to really grow people. Most people, they don't evolve and grow their strategy to try and ramp it up and accelerate it. So now I wanted to give you a quick shout out from our sponsor. Before you make any trade, you can verify it with VectorVest. Their free stock analysis report tells you what a stock is really worth and how safe it is. And it even rates it whether you should be a buyer, seller, or hold the stock. So that way you can invest with confidence. If you're interested in VectorVest, check out the link in the description below or visit the website vectorvest.com. So here I have a little scratch pad that I showed you, kind of like one strategy here. And what you want to do is kind of break the strategy down. And this is kind of one that I pulled from one of my old strategies here that I kind of tweaked already, but just to give you a starting point. So what you want to do is go ahead and just kind of break down the strategy. Like, what is it that you're looking to do? Okay, looking to sell. Let's say this is swing trading and you're looking for a flow breakout. Like, let's say this is like your flow breakout strategy. You're looking to sell between 30 and a 10 delta put verticals on a bullish take since stocks are going up most of the time, and collect premium repeatedly. When defending the position, there's a few choices such as taking contracts off, converting to iron condor, but the core purpose is to reduce the loss on the put side from the calls if things get bad. So that's kind of they call it the mission statement of the strategy. Next, you could go in and talk about the setup. There's a couple different setups here, but I keep it simple for you guys. Let's say we are going in and we're going to go ahead and just do simple verticals right here. So here is kind of the strategy. So there's the duration, the delta. What's my loss point? What am I going to do if I get into a little bit of trouble? And then what's my exit plan? So, let's say the exponential moving averages changes colors or crosses over for 2 days, or I got a fast bar down, then that's kind of the exit plan. Now, let's start the proceedings of checking things out. So round number one, hey, this one was successful. So by rounds, what you want to do is test the strategy. So you go through a testing phase. So round number one, you kind of are doing 10 to 20 trades, small sample sizes to see, hey, what's working, what's not working, and what can you do next to tweak it. So round number one, I found some success, but I also found out I have a lot of call side issues. So I would put on these bullish trades and they would actually work out, but then I would defend them on the call side and it became a problem. So I converted them to an iron condor to defend them. So I'd start with, selling puts, and then I would go ahead and put on the call side here and they would get into trouble and I'm taking losses here. So, so what do we do? So that was a bit of the issue right here. Goals, you might say, okay, goals, do 2 expirations or 20 to complete the trades, see the problem areas. Rules, start with the put side first, then add to the call side if necessary. Results, struggling to hold positions as wanting to defend them more, taking lots of hits on the call side, but most of the stocks chosen seem to be working just fine. So next, correction. So on round number 2, what should I do? Reduce the call side protection, or at least do less protection on the call side. So meaning be more bullish on the trades I'm picking, because the ones I'm picking are doing fine. It's just the call side, I'm taking hits on them. I'm having drawdowns on the call side. So round number 2, then you go ahead and do the next thing. So again, you go through that strategy, goals, and so on, how to do it, rules, results, and next correction. Now, again, when you're doing these rounds, do 1 to 2 contracts to start. You don't want to do too many because you're trying to tweak your strategy. You're tweaking it for your personal needs. After a while, you could ramp things up. So round number 2, less calls seem to work well. Bigger issue is actually more choosing the wrong stock a bit and not being too selective. Probably longer time frame needed or cleaner breakouts. Little call side issues, but not as much. So you keep doing this and tweaking it for your personal needs. You could go to round number 3, round 4, round 5. You could get into entry points, previous tested entry points, like, what worked, what didn't work. And then finally, what are you sticking with? So as you tweak this, like you work on the entry points. And once you find entry points that work, use those. Once you find a management part, once you're in the trade that works, then stick to that. And then the exit point, again, when do you exit? When do you take profits? What worked? What hasn't? And you might have like an entry checklist and an exit checklist. And this would be just kind of like one thing that you're doing. So you might have this kind of strategy for, let's say, swing trading. But then what you'll do is you might say, okay, well, I've got this one for swing trading, but then I'll have maybe another one, let's say, and we'll do one for, let's say, penny stock trading. And then these could be like, your spec trades. You might have another strategy or system where, okay, I've got another one where I am doing more, let's say, iron condors for theta trading. So again, you keep working different strategies as you keep going through the process of your whole portfolio. And you might have multiple things like this building out to building your total portfolio. And each one's going to give you a different result. So here you might say diagonal for long investing. So there you go. So you've got a lot of different things here working in your favor to making it work, but each one's going to be a little different. It's going to have a different rule set. It's going to have a different goal. It's going to have a different entry criteria probably. So that's what makes those trades work a little more or less and better or worse. And that's what you want to do. Otherwise, what you'll do is you'll hop around from one strategy to the next without really developing a specific strategy. It's kind of like saying, hey, well, let me go ahead and try to swim, and I'm going to go into the Olympics and try to win a medal. That didn't work. Let me go ahead and do hockey at the Olympics. That didn't work. Let me go in and do, archery. Okay. Or then I'll go in and do bobsledding. Right. So you're not really sticking to any single sport to evolve it, to be better at it. So that's what you want to do, is kind of take one and see where it fits in your portfolio and evolve it and try and grow it and tweak those things and making it better. So I hope that helps, gives you some insight. Truly appreciate you sticking with me. Hope you learned something. And if you did and you want to grab some other freebies that I have on my website, just go ahead and click the link down below right here. You can also join the Discord channel or book a one-on-one coaching session if you like, and we can work together and I can help you out with working out a strategy that makes sense for you or how to evolve your strategy in the future. Anyways, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.